All right, welcome to the Yanagida Podcast show. Yeah. So I got some special guests today, guys. I got Shane over here, who's the owner of the F45s in Honolulu. And then we also got Jason, who just recently got his black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Congrats, my brother. Oh, man. So I'm excited, man. So I'm curious, how did you get started, Shane, with the whole fitness? And I know you're telling me a little bit about CrossFit before.
Okay.
Yeah, how did everything start for you?
I've always been around fitness, just because active lifestyle, Kauai, surfing, and all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Then I went into the Marine Corps, and you have to be fit in there. Then I got out, ended up working for 24 Hour Fitness. Kind of fell in love with that scene, and then left it, went to corporate America, and then during that process, actually, out of the Marine Corps, started Jiu-Jitsu, and that was my choice for fitness, that and surfing and skateboarding. Then CrossFit came up, and it gave me an opportunity to own my own business while I could work a regular job. Then I started that, and that was just a life changer. That's where, in my 40s, I realized what my dad was right, that find what you love, not what makes you money. Because I did not make any money at CrossFit. And actually I'll be paying off a debt today. So I've lost money at CrossFit, but friendships and it was truly, it was a labor of love for about 5 years that was life-changing. I got to work with people and make lifelong friends. And then it opened the doors for F45. So, F45 is just another tool where I can reach more people. Yeah. And so, it pulled me out of my job and now full-time with F45 and got to expand that, and now looking to afford working with Jason to expand our nonprofit side. So we're going to take our fitness side to help kids and women, people in general, but that'll be the focus on, giving back to people that can't give back in a monetary way, if you will. And kind of, that's, I believe, our kuleana, and I can speak for myself, but I want to leave a legacy for my children's children, and then also, work on fighting what's happening out in the world right now and in Hawaii. With the kids are the ones that ultimately suffering.
Yes.
So that's the goal.
Wow.
Sorry, long answer to your
No, that was
short
great.
question.
So people are probably curious, what does F45 stand for? And what is this jiu-jitsu thing?
Okay.
So for some people who are first time.
Okay.
They're like, what is that? That sounds cool.
Yeah. F45 is super cool. It's actually from Australia, built by former professional rugby guys.
Oh, got it.
F stands for functional, 45 minutes. So 45 minutes, and it's high interval training, or high intensity interval training. And what they did is they applied technology to the training class. They have over 4,000 recorded exercises, more than anyone in the world. Nike is runner-up. Wow. And then we have all these cool names of workouts, like Hollywood on Saturday. Today was, what was today? Not Athletica. Triple double. So, it brings fun to fitness. So similar to what you do, we have coaches making sure that people are doing proper form and working to their capacity. And then, we have the workouts that are popping up on the screen. So they always have that reminder, okay, I got to squat right now. Yeah. And so I call it the CPK of the fitness world, of the CrossFit almost world, because it's consistent. Yeah. And then I will hand over now to Jason to talk about, so, which is, the business is not our passion again, so that's where the Jiu-Jitsu has come out of it, and that's where Jason plays a big part, so, the part.
Yeah, nice. So what about for the Jiu-Jitsu? When did you guys start that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
So, well, Shane and I have known each other for over 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, and he trained way back when, in the very beginning. Should be like third degree black belt by now. But of course, you know, life gets in the way.
Yeah. Girls get in the way.
Girls get in the
They want to make babies and stuff.
Oh, man. So yeah, we've always been in the martial arts, and especially growing up here in Hawaii, you know,
that's true.
From karate, kaiju kempo, judo, and all the upbringing. But then again, jiu-jitsu definitely caught my mind.
Yes.
And I always wanted to learn it, watching the earlier UFC days.
Yeah.
So if you don't know jiu-jitsu,
Hoist Gracie.
The man.
Hoist Gracie.
So if you don't know what jiu-jitsu means, it's basically translated to the gentle art. So I love it because you can train it at 100% without getting punched, kicked, and work on controlling somebody. So you don't even necessarily have to submit somebody. You can just learn to control in a self-defense environment. I feel that's
in that environment.
Super key.
What was the moment for you that it clicked for jiu-jitsu? Because I know some people, like for me, I remember when I was in high school, I was like really small, and I guess kept getting smashed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What's going on?
Right,
what was like the aha moment for you? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do remember, and it was in training. The black belt wasn't there. It was actually a purple belt. I was still a white belt. And so he was running class, and I kind of was like, just a purple belt's going to be teaching. I was, a little disappointed.
Yeah.
But when we got to rolling, and he was 52 at the time too.
Wow.
His name was Chuck.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Is he still here?
No, this is in Northern California.
North Cal, okay.
And he just like played with me, and I just remember going like, man, I want to be like Chuck when I grow up. So, that's where the aha moment was for me to just continue jiu-jitsu, continue the path to learning. Yeah.
Wow. And then Shane, you're saying something about the Marines, and then fitness, and then jiu-jitsu. Was that all around the same time, or for people curious?
Well, I got out of the Marine Corps, and then Hana Boy, Correas Kalama, brought me to my other good friends, Kai Borg Garcia and Carl Ragasa. And, we're training. This is Kauai 95, so we're training in the garages. But, yeah, so right out of the Marine Corps, the UFC just started.
The UFC just started.
Yeah, and then we got into jiu-jitsu. And I was chubby when I was a kid, and I've never had a six-pack, so I always had like a belly. So that was one of my things that I wanted to Marine Corps. Back in the 80s and 90s, was about having bricks and all that good stuff. And I figured if I own a gym one day, maybe I'll have one, but it doesn't work that way. So anyways, yeah. But yeah, so it came, it always kept fitness around. Because it's more of a discipline. Yeah. And in jiu-jitsu, you have to show up. And so here's the thing. To maintain a good regimen, you have to do things you like. So whether it be working out, which majority of people don't like to do, jiu-jitsu, But, and then you get to, keep growing, if you will. So hence, Jason can talk about this. He started F45 because he was going to go to Worlds, and it helped the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, and you look. I watched the UFC last week, and the week before, unfortunately, a lot of local boys, they had more skill, they had more strength, and local girls. But the ones they lost to athleticism, not to skill. Not to heart, definitely not to heart. And I was like, and nothing to take away from anyone in any fights, but it's true. The ones that are more athletic, so you bring in a more athletic person, and they have the same skill fighting, the more athletic person is going to win.
Yes.
This is that's where luck might come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. And that's what functional fitness is. It's a blend. So, just like in any art, if you train jiu-jitsu, you want to eat properly. You know, you want to swim, you want to stretch, you want to roll. You know, you want to maybe cross train. Same thing. At 45, you get in healthy. Okay, why don't you learn something else? And I'll full circle it. Is that it's brain health.
Brain health.
You know, it's growing. It's always growing. I'll be 50 next year. So like,
good.
I always want to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and then I forget who the famous author was, but they say the average American dies at 26, and they bury them at 62. You know, because they stop learning after college and they just become robots to the freaking system. Anyways, sorry, I don't know if I answered your question. Maybe
Dang, you know what's great is a lot of people will ask me, why jiu-jitsu? Out of all the things, because I started with boxing, and then I went to Muay Thai with Kendall Grove.
Oh, nice.
And then,
Kendall,
and that was my introduction to jiu-jitsu. He was like, "You want to do this submission wrestling thing?" And I was like, "What is that?" And I was a little bit taller, maybe same weight. And I was like, I should be able to handle this guy. He just got mangled. Like, what? I gotta learn this. What happened? What just happened? I gotta learn this. 16 years old and just like, I gotta learn this. And so, people always ask, why jiu-jitsu? I'm curious for you guys, like, why jiu-jitsu between the other martial arts and combat sports?
I mean, because I did the same thing. You know, I did a lot of different martial arts growing up. But my master, my original master, Master Joe Moreira from Brazil, he actually fought in the earlier UFC days. He just said it so plainly that jiu-jitsu is really the only martial arts that you can fight off your back and be comfortable on your back. So you take a wrestler who has a lot of mat grappling experience, right? They're gonna feel comfortable, like Cody today, you know, movement-wise and everything, but they don't feel comfortable on their back. And that's the one thing where jiu-jitsu, you can fight off your back. There's submissions off the back, and you can learn how to, you know, subdue somebody by just being on your back. And so I think that kind of takes, Hickson Gracie says, you know, the mat is the ocean and I'm the shark. You know, basically, once you get somebody on the ground, you can neutralize them. It doesn't matter if you're a world-class boxer, a karate fighter, we've seen it all. And if you watch the earlier days with Royce Gracie and UFC, just, you know, pretty much annihilated everybody, right? And made a name for jiu-jitsu, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What about for you, Shane? Was it like a realism portion, or what did you remember? Like, I want to do this.
I guess there's two parts to it. Is one, it hands down it works more than anything in a real fight, and in the UFC, which was founded by the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. But honestly, too, outside of wrestling with sweaty guys all the time, I was joking, but is the people that it attracts. You know, like you saw today, you know, we had management, we had former, you know, we had a pilot, we had you, that fitness, you know, just it attracts good people. Same as you know, as owning a gym, gyms that are more community based attract good people. And one thing that, if you get to know me, is that, you know, my mantra is to surround people that are better than me. Because if I hang out with myself, I'll end up in jail. So like, yeah, if you really, and to be honest, you know, if you get in your own mind and if you don't be around good people, who are you getting mentored by? So to answer your question with jiu-jitsu, yeah, you go to any dojo, pretty much. I've never been to one. I've been to a lot of different ones. My nickname's a Criange, but it's we're also from Kauai, so we different friends. But anyways, I've never met or been around a bad jiu-jitsu environment. You know, everyone around. I have friends in every dojo here, and good friends. Like I can call them right now. You know, they wouldn't allow me to train there, and some of them, but you know, my point is they're all. You get the top caliber people. I'll end with this, is because if you train martial arts and jiu-jitsu, you have to become humble. And so the ones that stick around are the humble people.
Yeah.
That's a great point, because on a previous podcast we had Penny Thomas, who was ADCC and world champ, and so we had her on the podcast, and she was talking about the humility aspect.
Yeah.
When she would train with Leticia Himero, all those people, and just like everyone's so humble, that attracted her to jiu-jitsu. Everyone's so modest, like, oh, how are you? And she was like, you would never know that someone could just like, boom, like,
oh, I know.
Yeah, everyone's just so nice, like, hey, how are you, my friend? You know, how are you?
Yeah.
And everyone's
Like
so
the
nice.
boogeyman, dude.
Yeah,
Shout out.
exactly.
Yeah. Lister.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Humility. And so going into the nonprofit, this is something that really intrigued me the first time we talked was, I was like, dang, that's actually really cool. I've never heard anybody doing like a nonprofit for that specific with kids and women. Or, I mean, I know you're saying everybody, but that specific niche. I mean, that's a great community. And people are probably curious, like, where did that inspiration come from to do that nonprofit for kids, women?
You can share first.
Yeah. 20 years ago, I had a vision with my baby on my chest. And that vision was to help orphans. You know, fast forward 20 years, you know, Jason pulled me into a thing called Cauliflower Collective, where they are doing this already, helping kids and foster kids. And what really struck my nerve is that the local gangsters, as well as, I almost swore, people not from here, are they are targeting kids for sex trafficking. There is sex trafficking in every school on Oahu, starting from I think 7th grade up. Every school.
What the hell?
So the government's not going to do crap. We're the ones, and quite honestly, there's one day I hope that's the passion. Is, you know, we need to cut this evil. So that's what really triggered me, and it woke me up. And then funny ass, but I read the Bible once in a while, and I read it again this week because I haven't read it for a long time, and it was the verse that I tried to look for that came out to me 20 years ago. I think it was Psalms, and I still should, Psalm 68, but it talked about how God wants us to take care of widows and children. And, you know, and it's just, that's my personal thing with that. But you think of it, you and I, we can defend ourselves, you know. We lose everything. If you and I lost everything, we could probably have friends to stay with. We can probably find a job to get something. Kids don't have that freaking option.
Right.
So that's why. And then, you know, and then it's the low-hanging fruit. I have a gym now, so I can start working with that, using what we know on the fitness side, and that's where, you know, I can hand over to Jason to share why he does it. But
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same passion as far as like fighting against the sex trafficking that's happening here on Oahu, but then also, you know, the fatherless. So same thing for me, you know, as a Christian, like there are a lot of, you know, kids that need help. My passion started back when I was managing a martial arts school in Northern California. And, you know, I do the same thing I do here with the gym, but it was more for like Muay Thai, Karate, and we had a Jiu-Jitsu program. And the kids that we'd give like a free week, you know, and the kids would come in, the kids, a lot like the Mexican kids with either the dads were in jail, the moms would bring them, they had multiple, you know, children in the family, and they would come in on the mat and go for the free trial, and they would be amazing. I mean, honestly, like if they were able to afford it and somebody invested in them, they could be like future world champion level. You know, I mean, like if you were to like really pour into kids like that, it just had like, as we talked earlier about the athleticism.
Right.
Yeah. It was like they had it. So it broke me when it was time for their trial to end, and building this relationship with the kids through that week, and then, you know, showing them the pricing, there's no way, you know.
Right.
Back then it was $139 for unlimited. That family couldn't afford it.
Right.
So, but we started to run a business, and we tried to look at different ways to slide the income, you know, and get it as low as possible. But even that was tough for them, you know. So there was a number of kids like that, and that broke my heart back then, and still does now, because you know I have kids myself. I have my son Yeshua and Shane's son. They're good friends. You know, they're 15, and but my son Yeshua has 3 friends that pretty much don't have any fathers. One died just recently, and my son and his best friend walked into the dad's apartment, and he was on the floor dead.
Oh my God.
You know, and it's real, and it's happening right here in this community. You know, whether you want to focus on the poor communities or whatnot, we have issues here, and kids that are left fatherless and have no mentors in their life. And that's a big part of, as Shane talked about, we always have to keep growing. I need to have a mentor. Shane does, you know, we all do. But at that age, at 15, at the young teen level, I mean, that's make or break, you know. It's having somebody to guide them through and help them navigate. And so the whole heart behind that is, number one, how can they afford jiu-jitsu in the first place? And then 2, using jiu-jitsu as a stepping stone or a gateway for them to come in, learn, understand humility, understand, you know, having a regimen, understanding, you know, kindness even through, you know, combat, and giving them tools to protect themselves, but also helping them have a family, you know. And then through that, we mentor them, you know, whether it be the smallest things, you know, but creating a relationship and a community within that. That's the idea and the heart behind what we want to do is use this place that we have and the mass that we have to bring these kids in, and then just start there and just, you know,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, allow them to experience jiu-jitsu. And who knows, one of them could be a future world champion like Penny, you know?
Yeah.
But it's hard when they don't have any means to afford
opportunity.
it. Yeah, opportunity. Yeah.
So people listening, they might be like, oh my gosh, when is this gonna start happening? You guys have like a kind of like a 10, I know it's a crazy time with COVID.
Yeah.
Sometime next year.
Yeah, we want to start as soon as possible. We have this place, you know, we're partnering up with Needle Boxing and
Needle Boxing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And but as far as this area, we have the 12 o'clock time slot, and then also a 3 p.m. And that's what we're looking at.
What days is that?
Probably we have Monday through Friday. We have
Monday
3
through
p.m.
Friday
Yeah,
at 3
open.
p.m.
And I did, you know, I kind of called around and asked a lot of his friends, my son's friends, Yeshua, and they're all said, yeah, 3 o'clock would be great, Uncle, you know. So, you know, just having these kids start, and you know, start small, but allow it to build and see what happens through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! If people are wondering, if people want to help, what can they do? If people are listening and like, man, I want to help, I want to do something. Is there something that they could help with, or if they're listening?
Yeah, what I do need help with is you know, if I was a millionaire, I would just do it myself and throw it, buy, rent a place and just start opening, but I'm not. So anyone that starts understanding that and is willing to like invest time in maybe learning grants or you know, getting us a pathway, then yeah, if they want to help, you know, reach out to me. I'm gonna talk to my attorney friend. She's gonna do my 501c. But yeah, anyone that has idea or even real estate. So we're gonna start here, but our goal was to actually have it in Waianae or Nanakuli, where I believe they're getting hit the most, and then into the Native Hawaiian communities. And my wife's a doctor there, and I can't repeat some of the stuff that she's gone through. But we need a death penalty in Hawaii for the stuff, you know. So yeah, so that's the goal. And again, And because I believe, and I've heard, a lot of people said they're willing to jump in and work. So I have access to hundreds of people that are ready to work and do this. We just need to find the space and then the finances. And we had one kid that was willing to uproot his life and make $2,000 a month, which is not much, and live in Waianae to work with these kids. If I had $2,000 a month to give them, I would just do it already, but we don't. So any grants that we can start tapping and do, we have people that are ready to work and give back to the community. So.
Wow. And then for people wondering what location we're at, what is the address of this? F45 Kahala?
Yeah. 4400 Kalani on Ole.
Boom.
Yeah, so.
Boom.
Yeah, right out, right between Kaimaki and, a lot of the kids are from Kaimaki, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids, Kaimaki. There's another nonprofit that works. He's like coach of the year, football coach of the year, out in Pololo. And they've been working with some of the kids doing things like, fitness and just doing football stuff with the kids. But I was told that there's a high suicide rate right now with the kids. Yeah, and that's just right in our backyard. Yeah, and so like Kaimaki, Pololo, even if you have a really great address, doesn't mean everything's happening well in the home too. So, all those things need to be addressed. And just also with, all these kids, they're during COVID. They're locked in. They're doing school online. They need an outlet. Get them off their screens. Get them in here and provide a place that they can learn about fitness too. And learn to protect themselves too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, this is just incredible because when we first connected, Shane, through our friend Alyssa, and we talked on the phone, immediately I was like, man, I got to get to know this guy. You started pouring out about the nonprofit and why you're doing what you're doing and F45 and helping people, your community base and all these things. And I'm like, and then we started talking about jiu-jitsu, hey, let's roll, let's do it. And I'm like, dang. And it really is like, it's a different feeling, right? Than if we just kind of like somebody came in and versus, hey man, let's bump this, and just have fun. And it's so hard to explain what jiu-jitsu does because I shared this with you guys in a previous podcast, but about bullying, depression, the attempted suicides, all those things. And jiu-jitsu is the thing that I wrote about in the book to really climb out of that. First time I had a community sense. First time I had people who were like, mentors, coaches, professors, and it was just an incredible feeling. And so for people listening, maybe like one thing, what is one thing that people don't really know about you guys that you would probably want them to know? Start with Jason. Jason.
Searching my brain right now. One thing.
Black belt.
Yeah.
The belt.
The black belt.
Black belt.
Oh shoot.
Brazilians. Sorry.
No, it's
Sorry.
Shoot. For me, if I look, of course, grown here, grown up here on the east side, and I guess for me, I had a really bad past and pretty hardcore upbringing. Got into a ton of trouble, so I think that's a big why behind why I feel it's so important to pour into, especially the teens, to direct them, because I didn't have that direction, from a broken home and ended up going off into drugs and stuff like that. So, but then to come full circle and to find my passion in jiu-jitsu and how much it can be used as a tool to change lives, literally change lives. It's changed my life. I went through a really rough patch during my journey in jiu-jitsu, and it literally saved me from depression, from everything. So I wholeheartedly believe it, and that's why I have given my life to it, to the study of the art, and to achieve the black belt. Of course, that's amazing, but it's all the lessons along the way that were even more amazing, and then now to be able to just share what I've learned to others, I mean, that's what it's all about. But I would say, what a lot of people don't know is what saved me was honestly was God, because I had a lot of crazy things happening to me, throughout my life, but God shook me and got control of me, and I'm not the greatest in my journey with Him, but He always redirects me back to Him, and that is my saving grace. So I mean, a lot of people may not know that I'm a Christian, but honestly, that's my whole heart, is to just please Him, and use, honestly, I mean, my health, everything that I have is from Him, my health and everything. So if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing. So just to be thankful for that, and hopefully that light passes on to others. The whole meaning behind our Jiu-Jitsu school's name is sojourn, which is from the Bible. It's a Hebrew word, and sojourn means translated a temporary stay, and I see that as nothing is eternal. So no matter what we try to grasp and hold on or try to achieve in this life, that's not going to be forever. We can try to get the big house and all that stuff, but that's not going to give us the peace and everything that we're looking for. And then the parallel meaning of sojourn for Jiu-Jitsu is that when you walk in these doors as a white belt or somebody who knows nothing, I mean, the only thing that's separating me from you is the time spent in Jiu-Jitsu. And so you're only temporarily going to be that beginner. Down the road, you're going to be a black belt and so forth, So there's a lot of meaning behind the word sojourn for us. And yeah, it's kind of cool too, soul and journey put together.
Soul and journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Shane.
I want to add something too.
Yeah,
He's
let's do it.
Jisha.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
the logo. That's his mon too.
Yeah, our Japanese family
family.
moan. Yeah.
So he's gonna carry the family.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
That's verse is so it's my Japanese family moan
Is that
from the Nakata family.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it there.
Yeah, so it's on the door. Sojourn.
Wow.
And and so sojourn, we have this, and then there's a triangle with water lines, and the tagline is grow and flow. So it's just the growth, and then also you're learning in Jiu-Jitsu, you're growing, and then the idea is once you've kind of keep on, you guys purple belts and more advanced, you start to flow, and so that's the idea of that. Yeah.
Wow. Dang, that was a good one, Shane.
Yeah, Shane. Thanks for pointing it out.
Yeah.
Show my tattoo.
Yeah. What about for you, Shane? People maybe something that people don't know about you.
Oh.
You know what's great is since coming, it's I don't know if it's a jiu-jitsu thing, but you just feel like we've known each other a lot longer than 1 hour.
Right.
It just feels it doesn't feel like we're just mad, and it just feels it's so hard to explain that. Yeah.
Easy to explain that. God's law of attraction.
There you go.
Yeah, you hang out. It's laws you can't break. Like the law of gravity, you can't break that. The law of reciprocity, one of those words. But I guess that goes to a lot of people. They look at F45, CrossFit, or whatever. Oh my gosh, you did this, and you know what? Kind of following with Jason. I'm not how to say this, not downplay myself. I'm not the smart, brilliant guy that sits down and says, oh, this is what we need to do. I'm not the business guy. But what I have is tenacity, and I have the heart behind it. When I opened CrossFit, I remember looking across this kid that actually, he was my partner, and he's 24 or something, not from here. And I told him, look, our marketing plan is love the person across from you. So, I guess if people don't know about me, is I'm very simple-minded. It's hurt me a lot because I've given opportunity to people that didn't understand it and maybe didn't even deserve it, so they take it for granted, like a lot of the kids in the world take now. because everything's given to them. But I just believed in people. So, you know, I guess just wrap it up is that you know, I'm not the big business guru thing that some people are trying to make of it. You know, I was lucky because of just having tenacity and moving forward. I'm moving with the goal more about myself. Because honestly, if I had the chance to, I would not be wanting to do a nonprofit. I would not want to wake up at friggin' 4:30 in the morning and deal with employees and dealing with members. I would surf, eat chocolate, go swimming, watch Netflix, you know, drink whiskey and repeat, and skateboard when I can, jiu-jitsu when I can.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very lazy on that, but so yeah, I think the lesson of that is that, you know, I look at the long-term vision with everything, you know, and the call that, you know, like, Shane, you have to do something more than yourself, than your selfish desires. For the immediate selfish thing is actually like, my son, my kids, is for them. You know, do I want to go and deal with kids that have serious problems? No, not really. I definitely don't want to. I don't have. I'm very soft when it comes down to that. If I have a lot of fear around that. But do we need to? Yeah. You know, who wants to deal with the kid that might be getting sex abused? Do you think that's going to be easy? No. When I could be cruising with my 2-year-old son all day long. You know, it's so. I get. So my ambition is not about me and where I want to go with it. It's because if it was about me, I would not be doing it. So I guess maybe that's answer your question. And so, but I think everybody across the board should be like that. Stop and look at your freaking life. What are you doing to help someone else? Stop complaining about the freaking lame ass presidents, because everyone was lame. Freaking governor and mayor and all these lame ass people that don't really give a rat's ass about what are you going to do for your neighbor. Do you talk to your auntie next door, the grandma that probably they hadn't seen walk outside for friggin' 8 months? Is she still alive? You know, I'm kind of like being a preacher now, but you know what I mean? That's I guess my thing I could communicate. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm just trying to be better. I'm not the smart, organized person that some people think because I have an F-45. You know.
You know, I just really appreciate you guys. It's incredible just how you can feel the humility and the openness and the honesty and the authentic part, and it's just. I just got to say, I just really enjoyed this episode, and you know, thank you guys for joining us, and really thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's just incredible. It's like we got to see a little bit of the underneath. I got choked out. It's just like, a little bit of the emotion, and it's incredible. And so with that, one last question. I always like asking this. I wrote a book called Fighting Sickness with Fitness. When you hear the word fighting sickness with fitness, what do you guys think of? Start with Jason. I like saying that. I'll stop.
No, it's funny. I mean, immediately pops up this whole COVID thing, you know, and I mean, people are so fearful just to get outside, you know, and I mean, just gonna say it, ever since this whole thing started, we never stopped. You know, we just kept, you know, doing what we believe in, kept working out, kept, you know, drilling, doing jiu-jitsu, and I feel like it's the biggest thing to combat all of this craziness is fitness. And there's a lot of sickness. I mean, you can think of just like, you know, physical health, but there's, you know, the sickness internally of your mind, you know, and fitness like jumping full-heartedly into fitness and being disciplined about it, it'll change your life, obviously. And that's why you wrote the book, right? And that's why we're all a part of this. And I just hope everybody really can understand that and move towards that, move towards more health. And that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Shane?
Yeah. So I love that title. So what, people relate to movies so well, like The Gladiator and William Wallace, and and then you have the cheesy ones like like the whatever that's, but because everyone wants to be in a fight, so fighting fitness or fighting sickness with fitness. If people could realize they are in a fight, they're in a fight. I'm not even talking about COVID. The government, these big corporations, their job in these food industries, their job is to sell their product. They know, they're not stupid. They know what they're doing, and they're keeping people sick. Now, with crappy foods, it's destroying people. And guess what? You should get that inner being, and you should fight that. And a lot of populations are talking about how bad Monsanto is and how bad, these medical guys, and they tease about, oh, you can take this blah, 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 and by the way, you're going to get diarrhea, you're going to die, you're going to lose your hair, blah, 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 all that. People joke about that. But at the same time, they go to the freaking store, and then they buy these foods from these companies that are destroying our islands, by the way, like Monsanto. There's no vana in there. So let's talk about the fight. You go support corn-type foods, then you just lost the fight. So what it means to me is like, strike up your warrior inside, design your life daily, and be like, okay, what am I going to fight for? Dude, my dad died at 69 from lung cancer. So if I were to follow his pathway, and sometimes you just don't know, that's 19 years. I've known him longer than 19 years. My kids would have to wipe my ass while I'm dying in the bed, like how I did my mom and my dad. So I guess for me, and then for people to share on this, is that, what are you going to fight for? Or are you just going to be what these big entities and what government wants? And my wife's a doctor, and she can share different things. Because in her practice, she would want to spend an hour to 2 hours, months on end, to find out what's going with you. In the federal government, they want you to get 15 minutes in and out. Now they just got paid for seeing that person. That's fact. So what do I fight for, and how do I do it with fitness? And that's honestly why I started the gym in the first place, because it made me accountable to get some kind of fitness around my life. Why? Because I need to fight for my family, so my kids are not wiping my ass dying at a freaking hospital, and then help them, help others, and so that's a perfect thing. So I guess for me is, why do I need to be fit? What strikes my inner being that creates a fight? Because it's a fight. It's a war. What we're going through now, it's a war. It's against the lies of big corporations selling their food and selling their drugs. So, or are you just going to sit back? So, and the only way, to be honest, the only way to win a fight in your whole life is to be fit. And it's not about looks. Sure. Being fit is about, soon as your first workout, you're going to call happy hormones, dopamine, and you can go in the rabbit hole in there. That's number one. and everything follows suit after that. So, you got to find what you're going to fight for, and you got to realize it. So that's what it means to me. Working out, obviously in jiu-jitsu, you're going to learn how to fight, but literally what are you really fighting for? What fitness is the only, you can't fight if you're not fit.
Yeah.
Because you can't even fight your own brain. Hence, actually, it's a 200% increase on suicide.
200.
Yeah. So one of your friends is probably going to end up killing themselves. I've had multiple friends kill themselves, and kill themselves recently. Fucking really recently. Guys that they should not die from killing themselves. So I know. So I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole, but that's it. Dude, we are in a fight. And you know what? The only way to win that fight personally, spiritually, mentally, for you and everyone else you care about is being fit. You can't do it without it. You have to do that. Yeah.
Wow, that's the episode, guys. I just, one more time, that's just incredible, because I want to just acknowledge the both of you guys for just being so honest, authentic, and just sharing, just everything what you guys did on this episode. And for people curious, how can they find you guys if they want to reach out to you or anything like that? Where can they find you guys? Let's go with Jason.
I mean, probably best for me right now would be Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Aquino Ohana. So it's AQUINO OHANA. Yeah. You can find me there. DM me if you have any questions, and then I can direct you to our new Sojourn IG account too, Sojourn Jiu-Jitsu. And then just keep tabs with us and keep track of what we're doing as we move forward with this nonprofit, and excited to be a part of the journey.
I know. And then Shane, for people want to find you?
Instagram is F45_coach_Shane, I think. And then Google Kahala or Kapolei or Hawaii Kai F45, and they'll pull into an email list. Yeah. So, easy day from there. You can get a hold of me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for jumping on the show.
Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
Man,
thank
thanks
you, man.
for
This is
coming,
like,
man. It's fun,
I feel like I've already known you guys like months and
Yeah.
longer than just a couple hours. So
Yeah, man,
thank
you're
you guys.
awesome.
Really,
Thank you.
really appreciate it.
Thanks for your.
Thank you guys for listening, and until next week, we got. Please share, like, comment, and then we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys.